cross body mount. We're going to show a couple of different ways that I've been utilising the breakdown from cross body mount from Turtle, and also a way that I've been using it from the full guard to break people down inside my full guard to get access to a couple of variables, and the variables are going to depend on the length of the arms and how much movement and motion I can get. Right, so there's a couple of variables. So we're just going to have a quick look at the breakdown. Just going to grab Professor Tyrone on cross body mount for me. This is my input into it, and you're always going to have variations depending on your body shape size. For me, I did it with Professor Tyrone's is I always want to keep the opponent onto my hip. That means that if he's on my hip, when I move my hip, he moves. Does that kind of make sense? So at no stage am I ever trying to push my opponent up and giving him an opportunity to come inside the valley. I always want to keep it low. In fact, the lower I go down on the leg, the better it is for me. The higher I am up on the up on the knee, the more he gets access. The downfall about this is once I commit here, my shoulders, yes. So I've got to make sure that my leg is out. So that becomes my post. Does everyone understand that? Okay. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my head to my knee to create space to move. So this is called a shrimp. But it's different to your hip escape, it's called a shrimp. So me, number one, is once we're in this position, I want to nullify all of this stuff up here. So I come down here and I'll make sure my elbow is between the calf and my hip. There's not much point having it on the outside, there's not much point having it up high. It's here. Secondly, I've got to put my leg out from here. My other knee flares and this creates a little bit of motion so that his weight's constantly going that way, not that way to drive me over. What I'm doing, the way I got told to do this was I touch my nose onto my knee and I raise my hips. So when I raise my hips, that gives me the opportunity to move. If I don't raise my hips, I kind of get to here, he can cycle to my backside and I'm in an even worse position. So what I'm trying to do by raising my hips, John will describe it as keeping the monkey behind the glass. He has to raise to come up over, which means that he's moving his weight and momentum, which means that I get the ability to move. So frame, okay, bottom leg out, not your top leg because that's turning you over. Bottom leg out and turn your knee, got to change his weight a little bit. And I don't mean much, okay, so my nose goes down and I'm raising my hips. This gives me that ability for him to chase my back now. I've got this ability to keep him at bay and turn around. So your hips have to go up, it's called like I'm trying to get my butt in the air as far as I can, but my head's down low. We'd like to see that one more time? Okay, yep. So Clinton, can I grab you please? Cross body mat. One of the things for me is when I'm in this position, and it's not quite a fair bit, is specifically with the gi, I want them to commit to the choke so that they take away their posts. I'll go into that a little bit of detail. So anytime that my elbow's up, he has the ability to push, grab, etc. Anytime that my elbow's down, he's got the ability to take my body down. If I take my top knee over, I'm helping him. I kick, now you feel the difference, I go 1 and 2. So the weight instantly change, like you can feel that already. Right, so this is a huge asset for me. If we get to here, I'm hip raising and come under and I'm going to start to do my escape. But my partner's got a little bit more savvy than that. So number one is I create the space from here, right? 1 and 2, I'm having trouble. So what I'm doing is I'm not pushing. Anytime that I push, I'm committing the distance. So I turn my head down from here. Now, the part that I need is I get my frame, I push, and my hips come up high to create the space. Once I'm like that, he can grab that, because once he grabs that, that gives me the ability to start to turn and regard. The hardest part you're going to have is 1, that's easy. This is easy, that's easy as this. From here, right, is to keep him at bay. What I've got to do, I've got to raise my hips. Frame, turn, and reset. Okay. So this shrimping is not a hip escape. You need to have this in your arsenal It's one of the best ways to start to escape some positions. I see like people kind of go, I have trouble getting out of mount, I have trouble getting out of side control, because everyone's used to people bridging and hip escaping. And if I only have to worry about you bridging and hip escaping, I have to worry about two things. I can shut you down. Once going to go bridging, hip escaping, shrimping, like sidewinder, once there's more than a couple of variables, more than two, it becomes harder for me to work out what to hold you down with. Okay guys, start this. 1, 2, 3. Too much. Too much. Yeah. Number one, we're going to test the boundaries. Okay. First of all, everyone understands that if I create an opportunity, your space is going to take advantage of it. So I've got to keep this in. The major thing that will happen now against any high-skilled grappler is they're going to take me belly down. That's it. And I see a lot of people that go belly down, they go like that. This is everything that he wants. But anytime that your hand's out and you expose the window, he's going to take the advantage of it. So if you think about it this way, is once I kind of go, I'll put it in here and it's framed, as he goes to take me belly down, first thing is I'll put my leg. And I'm wedging his hips, so his hips going which way? Backwards. Now, yeah, it's quite hard for him to hold it. The part that I see that people start to, which they do wrong, is they move their hips away from their partner. Now, me, if I'm in challenge position, that means mount. Anytime they go like this, that's his knee straight down, that's mount. Anytime anyone does that to me, I take the mount position. Because you're flat on your back, there's no way you can stop the upgrade. So, knee comes in, 1 and 2. Right, so think about it this way, is I want to make sure that what I'm doing is I'm going to push here, just to keep his weight off me. Now that's going to create the opportunity for me to move my hips because his weight's onto his knee and his backside, not front side onto me. So let's just try this, guys. So from here, we're onto underneath mount. I go frame, it goes upgrade, and I go upgrade. Does everyone understand? To stop me from going belly down, 1, 2, and I'll apply a little bit of pressure. He's going to try and take me belly down. Stay. Once we've got here, we can go to the next stage. Please note, I never ever close. This is wrist lock territory as well, right? And also, I'm going to burn my arms up. Here, I have the ability, right? Because it's open, I have the ability to push. Once it's here, I don't have as much strength and he can leave it. So if he goes for a wrist lock or whatever, I mean, it's harder for him to grab because it's open. That's just one little small area. Small detail, really important. Let's just go to here. 1, 2, 3. Back on cross body mount to me again, please. So you guys can start from the mount escape if you want to, or you can start it from here. It doesn't really matter. I find that this isn't a really good start position because I get what I want. So I often find that from underneath mount, I'll go frame off the side. I'll bridge, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing him one way to come under. So that gives me that opportunity to go to where I want to be. My arms on the inside, there's no space at all, and I kick it and I put pressure. So straight away there's pressure backside. Think about it this way, it's this. I can't move my butt at the moment because his left knee is behind the middle of my back. So I could either try and drive into his knee, which won't work because his weight's on it, or I move away from the knee. So and the only way I can move away from the knee is by going, I create a space behind my back. Does that kind of make sense? He can't chase me very well because his weight's onto his backside, and he might be able to use his hands, but we'll go and deal with that in a second. So, frame, okay, 1 and 2, nose, come up. Once I'm here, it gives me the space to be able to chase and cover. Make sure we hook this leg. This is the one that's going to drive straight over onto mount. With my legs down, he gets a free ride. Frame, even if he pushes this down, I have the ability to keep off centre. Make sure that your foot never goes higher than your knee. He'll jump straight to mount. Most common thing is he's going to push that down. As he pushes that down, I'll flare back out. So it's got a wider area to go to mount. A lot of detail there. Okay, so for you guys, just the fundamentals and the basics. For right now, I just leave it back a fraction time. Okay, it's this. So I push, recover, 1, 2, frame, head goes in, raise my hips, push, make sure I'm onto the knee, and make sure he's off centre. For those of you that like your leg locks, push and shove, bop, and we can feed it straight into wherever you want to go. I don't do this, I use this as a sweep, I won't go left. But you know, the opportunity is here for you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Offensive maneuvers for the person on top. If the most common escapes from the cross-body mount are bridging and hip escapes, I know how to deal with them. They're not the end of the world. I can deal with that. Once people start doing the shrimping and all that, it changes the game quite dramatically. So what I want is I want to have the ability to force my partner to go back to doing a bridge or a hip escape instead of going to the shrimp. It's not about stopping him. I need the motion so I can actually capitalise on upgrading or attacking him, where once he's down low, it's quite hard to get an attacker or an offensive position off. Professor Tyrone, cross body mount. Leg over. So I've already done the position where I put my frame in from here. Right. Now, this is the part that what I do is I understand that the top hand, right, the top hand is the frame. If I spend too much time attacking the top hand, I get to move. So what Professor Tyrone's going to do, instead he's going to use his right hand to grab my wrist over the top, so over the top. Now, Finbar's going to get a really strong grip. I'm pushing. As he feels me push, he extends my hand lift, create a space to put his knee through my arm. I'll explain. As I'm pushing, he lifts my arm up, puts his knee through the valley. So this puts me in a position that my frame becomes null and void. I've got two choices. Well, no choice. There's always a choice. There's always a choice. Okay, from here, right, I'm either going to try and pull my arm backwards, you simply follow it and choke me, or I'm going to hand fight you. Right. I don't know, see, my legs are pretty much screwed, so I can't move. The most common reaction that I get from the super is I'll grip break. Here you go. Straight back in the framing, whatever you want. Like, you know, we're done. The second thing about it is, once he has this up, right, and this is really silly, is people go, I'll rescue my arm. Yeah, like, you know, like, so that would be the novice versus the experienced. So once again, on the cross-body mount, this isn't the issue. This is the frame. You can't turn my body over, especially if I have this. So the attack mechanism is that you grab the wrist top over. If you grab it under, you're blocking your own leg out. So you're always grabbing it top over. Does that make sense? You don't pull it. You wait for me to start my motion, lift it, cross it. Now, because we're here, you can kind of take whatever you want to do. What I like to do is, if you watch this, slowly push my arm over your leg. That's an arm bar. What am I going to do to get out of the arm bar? Does that make sense? So once my arm's here, I'm not going to go, hey, that hurts, you know, stop. I'm going to defend it exactly where you want it. So Professor Tyrone's got his beautiful, nice little soft crossface that he likes to do from here. Hit it. Like serious. Elbows. Down, down. Fully isolated. Once again, I've got two choices. Take it like a man. Or tap like a fucking genius because it's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Okay, so one more time, guys, let's have a look at that. It's really important that you understand that this frame, you cannot lift it. But the more that you attack this frame, the more that your body weight's going backwards, the more that I have you. You're attacking this one. To put your knee down in the valley, you don't need to get rid of that, because once my arm comes over, you weaken my frame, it's crushed. Take the arm over your leg like an arm bar, they'll defend it, whatever you want to do. So here, I like Professor Tyrone's one where the elbow comes on the opposite side. But, you know, I could be here for at least half a second before I go. No, I'll say absolutely nice. Okay guys, change partners, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, from here, think about it this way. Right, for me, this is how I start to see a lot of my head arm chokes and actually my mount upgrades as well, is they go here, create space. So you slide backwards. Most times from here, right, see this space you've got, they're going to start to go, yep, here we go. And this is great. What I normally do, I just take the mount, right, because, you know, you're already here. So your knee smashes down, kill it, take the mount from here, and we're in that nice little arm wrap position. A lot of people from here now, they're going to try and use this to attack you. If you keep your elbow low to the ground, it means nothing, you're going to keep exposing their back. Right. We're now going to go to what we call a koala bear. So your hands come together and you grab your elbows. Yep. And just start squeezing.
What's the difference between that and Rockabye Baby? What's that similar?
Excuse me?
The Rockabye Baby, we did like
Okay, the koala bear is how much can the koala bear? Rockabye means that we're changing the frame and the angles. So once we're here and once that knee goes on the ground, the most common thing people are going to do is go this way. We're going to take it. So we'll go drive our arm deeper, wrap it. So we've got the head and the arm fully isolated. Okay, you squeeze and I go no way. All we're doing is we're going straight back into a head arm choke. See the pressure? To capitalise anyway. Worst comes worst is if you can't get the choke, whatever you do, don't chase it back. You're already on the back. Stay here. Just like stay here. Just like squeeze it. And I'm like, I'm not going to tap from that. I'm not going to tap. It's like, okay, stay here. At some stage, they're going to go, I'm going to get up. Yes. Got it? 100%. So one more time. For me, right, I've found I have more success with this than the other one, but I guarantee there'll be some of you that have more success with the other one than this. So I think because I can generate good hip pressure, I find that once I drop down flat, they have trouble moving. Where if you've got a wider legs and all that, sometimes you can't drive your hips down, so you'd use option number one. Does that kind of make sense? So we're here. So this, I go, use take back. So I'm pushing away. Look at that. But now, as I try and turn, koala bear, nice and deep. You don't have to do anything. You want that shoulder to the ground, tap your belly down. And I'm going to be like, I'm not going to tap that. I'm not going to tap that. You just go. You don't have to. Stay there. Squeeze. At some stage, we're going to go. I'm going to get up. Here you go. But I can't move without putting my hands on the ground. I physically cannot move. And you're going to get, sometimes you're going to get this position where you've got the arm wrapped and they're going to start to try and move their hips. Just sit there. It's really comfortable, right? For Tyrone. It's just like there's not much for me to do here at all. Okay, fruit jump on. Is that okay? Yeah. Fruit. So cross body mount. So from here, I kick it, I bring it in nice and low. So you're going to take your left knee, you're going to drive your left knee out as wide as you can, your hand goes under my armpit and drop your right knee down. Yeah, pretty much. Here we go. And you just simply squeeze, and you can cut the elbow squeeze. You shouldn't get the tap from here. But yeah, whatever you want, man. Like, it's not like I could do anything about it, you know. But this isn't where we want to be. This is where we want to be. Yep. And look, no, for me, Clinton, can I just grab you, please? I'll talk about the dynamic hip force on your side facing that way. So for me, it was once I got to here, and once I feel these frames come in, my hip pressure, and it's under. Oh, I've got so much drive from here. Now, the hip pressure is what does the damage. Yeah. I felt that, yeah, like unbelievable amount.
Yes, bro, that's all.
Hey?
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, you can generate so much power from here. Like so much power. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. So the weight on your back, no side. Okay. So just really slowly, like the game. So I managed to get to my mount position. First thing that I do with my mount is I drop my hips and I'm here. Dan puts both his hands to one side. I know which way he's going to go. So as he pushes and turns to the side to escape, I upgrade from here. Right. And I always test, can I get access to the hands? So what I find is the most cool thing is I do want the bottom arm, but watch what happens when I start to turn away. I go post and I turn, I'll get this. Now, squeeze. I haven't done it yet. drive my knee, yep, sorry, my knee, my hip to the ground. Once I'm here, it's this heavy hip. So a lot of times they'll chase me with their frame. That's when I go under the top arm. If they don't chase me with the frame, I go under the bottom arm to pick it up. But you find that once we're here and he's got his frames on the inside, if I go post and step backwards, I'll be here. Right. And the thing is, he tries to turn back towards me. I'm not, it's just my dynamic force of my hips turning over. So I get that a lot. I get that a lot. I get it from like the mount. So when people kind of go, I go like, I'm off balance. So everyone would go to push me. As they go push me like, cool. I get this ability. Anytime anyone goes cross body mount from here, or sorry, under, if they keep their frame low, but I come under here. Now it's the same. Choke or crank?
I'll
Choke. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm choking with either arm. It's a head arm choke. I have things that work in my favour being under 70 kilo. And one of the things that works in my favour is I know that anyone that's 85 kilo and over will try and out-muscle me. Generally. So if they feel that they can simply push me off mount, they will. And it took me a long while to work out, like, I accept that, I'm now going to use it against you. So why do I go underneath the top arm, not the bottom arm? Because most people think I'm right, they can work, they'll push with their top hand. If you're getting crushed and they're bigger than you, you can't move that arm, you go the bottom arm. That's the difference. So like if I'm here and he's onto his side and his elbows are in nice and deep, and I'm like here, so I go post, watch this, step backwards, and I'm here, he's going to go, I'll just roll. So as he rolls, watch what happens. Pop, cool, I get access to the arm. He can't, because I'm smaller than him, I can wedge this in. And he's going to go, I'm going to fight it, I'm going to drive, I'm like, yeah, you're not, I'm going to take it. Right, so once my dynamic force is behind it. Secondly, sorry, down.
That was the other arm.
So if I'm here and I'm bigger and stronger and I go whoop like that, he can't get that arm up. He's generally going to go post to stop it. That's when I go, okay, I'll take the bottom arm instead. Now watch carefully. Cup, backside, drive, squeeze. Squeeze, finish. Here to here. He's got nowhere to go. Heavy hips. How'd that feel?
First one you got a cutting armbar and that one was getting close.
Yeah, but it's tight.
It's tight.
So, you know, like once I'm here, I'm just going to go head to the backside. Here you go. And squeeze. Now, once again, I might not get the finish. You've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know? So, why did I take the top arm on the first one? Why did I take the bottom arm on the second one? How he reacts to me. And like I said, I know that most people I wrestle will always try and push the lighter person away. Why do you think that lighter guys get arm bars on bigger guys a lot? Get the fuck off me, get off me, get off me. Yeah. No, have you rolled Marcus? He'll put you into a half shitty choke and you'll go, get off me. He doesn't want the choke. He wants the arm bar. Do you know what I mean? So there's stuff that we do. So if you're a bigger, strong guy against a small opponent, right, you take the bottom arm because you turn them over. If you want to play a lighter game and get the head on choke from the top, which I consider to be a better option, me, right, I'll change the dynamics slightly. How? Okay, we're here, I'll go post, knee, slide backward, drop my head. Drive, cup, cinch the choke, squeeze.
Would that be more nasty doing that?
It's not nasty, it's just what it is.
That was different, that one, eh?
Yeah, but that's my preferred. Like, if I get that, you're not getting out of that. Yeah. Okay. Is there any questions about that, guys? Yes, sir.
Does it not matter whether it hits out to fill in that space you just created?
No, so I can never take my hips onto your side. Onto your side. I can never take my. So this is the deal, right? His frame, post. You don't see it, but my foot is onto his hamstrings. He can't actually bring his legs back because I've blocked his leg out. So my bottom foot is blocking his leg. And that means that he physically can't rescue the guard because yeah, right? And that's, thank you, cup, cinch. Once I'm here, choke.